Hey everybody, we are working on math today. So go ahead and get your packet out. We are working on topic 14, lesson 6. We are on week 3, day 1, and we are working on page 778. So go ahead and get your math out. Get ready. If you're not ready, go ahead and pause the video, get your stuff ready, and we will get started. So I do have our video for you guys with our robots once again. I know how much we love our robots. So I am going to go ahead and play this video. We are learning about 3D shapes. So last week we were talking about, let me stop my screen really fast. Last week we were talking about 2D shapes, and this was shapes like our paper, that this might be a rectangle, but it's flat. There's nothing else to it. This week we are talking about 3D shapes that have more of a dimension. You can feel it. It's not just flat. It's a whole thing that you can feel and move. Okay, so this is just flat. There's nothing else to it. This, if you look at it, this side's flat, but then it's round. So we're going to be learning all about these 3D shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and share our robot, and we will get started.
How do you define three-dimensional shapes? Let's find out.
Three-dimensional shapes is just a long way of saying 3D. So three-dimensional shape is the same thing as a 3D shape.
Three-dimensional or 3D shapes can be grouped in different ways. What is the name of this shape?
So this shape, it might look like a circle, but think of it as a ball. So if you see me over here in this corner, I have a ball. It's not just a circle now because it's not flat. Now it's called something else. Let's find out.
It is a sphere. This shape is a rectangular prism. This is a cylinder. This is a cube. And this is a cone. How is a cylinder different from a cone?
If I look at my picture, I have a cylinder right here. It has a flat bottom and then round sides. And then this one here is my cone. It has a flat bottom and round sides, but this one comes to a point. This one doesn't. Let's see what our robot has to say.
A cylinder has two flat surfaces. A cone has only one.
So when they say that a cylinder has two flat surfaces, I'm going to stop my share. Even though in the video it only looked like this, and it only looked like it had one, you can't forget the other side that has two. So it has one flat surface here, and then another flat surface here. So it's actually two. So even though you only saw it like that, you have to imagine in your head, if I picked this up and I moved it, does it have another side with a flat surface? This one does. So this one has one flat surface and two flat surfaces. And the cone only had one because it had this, and instead of this side being flat, it came to a point. So it wasn't flat, but it had a vertex or a vertex because there's only one. Let me go ahead and put our robot back on.
What is the shape of the flat surface on a cylinder or a cone?
Select your answer.
Okay, what is this shape on the bottom? Is it a circle or a rectangle on the bottom? It is a circle.
The flat surface of each of these shapes is a circle. These shapes have edges and vertices. Their flat surfaces are called faces. How are the faces of a rectangular prism different from the flat surfaces of a cylinder?
So before we talk about that, I want to talk about our faces, our edges, and our vertices. So I have my cube back again like we had last time. Now this is also a 3D shape because it's not just flat. It has sides and corners and edges. So a face is a flat part of my shape. So here's a face, here's a face, here's a face. All of these flat parts are called faces. Our edges are the lines. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. Then when I turn it, I have 5, 6, 7. I can keep turning. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this shape has 12 edges. Now, when I talk about my vertices, remember that's where 2 edges come to a point. It's the point, it's the corner. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. So really fast, just to recap, we have our flat faces. So we have 1, 2, 3, and so on. So any part of the shape that is flat. Then we have our edges. Sorry, I have allergies. Then we have our edges, and that's all of the lines that it makes. So all of these little lines, these are called edges. These line up. Then we have our vertices, which are our corners where points meet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You can go all the way around and count them all. But just so we know, that's what the different meanings of the words mean. So it says, how are the faces of a rectangular prism, which is this shape? I know that this shape because it says rectangular prism. This still looks like a rectangle. It just is more like a box instead of a piece of paper. So how are the faces of a rectangular prism different from the flat surfaces of a cylinder? So here's our cylinder. Here's a flat face, and here's a flat face. How are those different? Well, this one is in the shape of a circle, and this one is in the shape of a rectangle. Oh, let's go ahead and start.
A rectangular prism's faces are rectangles. A cylinder's flat surfaces are circles. The faces of a cube and a rectangular prism are all rectangles. A cube is a special rectangular prism that has squares for all of its faces.
Remember, a square is a rectangle too.
How is a sphere different from all of the other 3D shapes?
So I'm going to go ahead and skip to try it, but I do have just something to share with you guys. So if I have this ball, this is a sphere. It's not just a circle because it's not flat, right? This part right here, here, let me do this. This, if I have all this glitter, this part right here is a circle because it's flat. This is round because it's not flat. So this type of shape is called a sphere because it's a 3D circle. It's a sphere. So how is this different from this type of shape, which is a cylinder, or this type of shape? How is it different? Or I even have this chocolate bunny. This is a rectangular prism because it's a rectangle right here, but it's 3D because it's not flat. So how is this different from all these other shapes? I want you to think about it. Let's see if our robot can tell us.
A sphere is a 3D shape that has no flat surfaces, no edges, and no vertices. Now you know some ways to define 3D shapes.
Okay, so I would like you to go ahead and get your papers out, your packets. We are turning to page 778. This is what we're starting on. Again, this is just our first page. It gives us more descriptions of everything that we learned. You guys can work on this on your own time. We're actually going to flip to page 779, and we are going to be working on page number 4. So 779, number 4. So in this first column, our directions say, write how many faces or flat surfaces and vertices each object has. So I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own time. I'm going to skip to number 4 with this cube. So number 1, or this first part of the box, says number of faces or flat surfaces. So if I have this cube, here's this little cube, it wants to know how many flat faces. Oops, sorry, let me get my paper and my pen. Okay, it wants to know how many flat surfaces this has. So how many faces? So let's see, let's count. I'm going to mark each one so I know I've already counted it. So I have 1, 2, 3, sorry, you can't even see, 4, oops, I counted that one, 5, 6. So this one has 6 faces. So when I look at it just like this, it only looks like I have 2, look, 1, 2. But when I turn it all the way around and I count all of the faces, I actually get 6. So there are 6 flat surfaces. Number 2 says number of vertices. So now remember, our vertices is just a fancy way of saying corners. I'm going to rub this marker off so we can recount our vertices. So now we need to see all of the parts of the corners on our cube. So here's the corner. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm back where I started because I marked them. So I have 8 vertices. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each time an edge meets, it creates this corner. And we're counting all those corners. Those are called vertices. And we counted that our cube had 8. So I am going to write 8. So it had 6 flat surfaces, 8 vertices. Now it says number of edges. So remember, let me take off this marker. Edges are the lines that make up the shape. So let's see, we have 1 right here, 2, 3, 4, then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, then we have 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have 12 edges that make up this shape all together. So then we have 12 edges. And then you guys are going to go ahead and finish these other ones on your own time, but that is just an example of how to do this. So now we are going to go ahead and move on. If you're not done, that's okay. Go ahead and pause the video. We are going to move on to number 8. Number 8 says, Lily has an object. Okay, so we're going to think, what kind of object does Lily have? Lily has an object that looks like a 3D shape. Okay. The object has 2 flat surfaces and 0 vertices. Okay, so let's think. It has 2 flat surfaces and 0 vertices. So if it has 0 corners, that means there's no edges. Draw an object that Lily could have. I don't know. It kind of sounds like this one. This one has 0 vertices. There's no corners. But it does have 1 side and 2 sides. So it has 2 sides, but it has no corners. So maybe her shape is a can. Maybe it's a chicken broth can like mine to make food. Maybe it's a glitter can like this. Maybe it's a soda can. So it says draw an object that Lily could have. So I am going to draw this, and it's kind of hard to draw 3D shapes, so it's okay, just do your best. So I am going to draw a can by doing a little oval or shape or circle right here. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to draw 2 lines down. There's the sides. So if I'm looking at it just like this, I have, so far I have my top and I have my 2 sides. Then I'm going to do just a little tiny line on the bottom, a little bit curved so we know that it's a cylinder in a 3D shape. And then you can label it. You can write a can, you can write cylinder. I'm going to write, I'm going to make mine a soda can. So I wrote next to it a soda can, so I labeled it. Or if you want to get really fancy, you can even draw on it. Let's see. A little label on it that says soda. So there it says soda. All right, great job. We are going to go ahead and move on to number 7. It is page 780. If you were not done, you can go ahead and rewind the video and pause it if you need to. That is fine. We are on page 780 now. Number 7. Number 7, it says, this shape is a cone. Which shape below is also a cone? So right here, this shape is a cone. Which shape below is also a cone, and how do you know? So we went ahead and we labeled these cones. So we have cone 1, or sorry, we have cone 1, cone 2, or sorry, this is actually shape 1, shape 2, and shape 3. Okay, so we have 3 different shapes. It says that this one's a cone. So it wants to know which other shape below is also a cone. Is it shape 1 or shape 2? It's shape 2 because look, it has this vertice. So we're going to write shape. I think these are numbered wrong. Oh, sorry. We're going to write shape 2 and 3 are cones. So write shape 2 and 3 are cones. Period. Shape 2 and 3 are cones. And if you need time to write this, you can go ahead and pause the video. Now, how do I know that these are cones? Let's look at them. Well, they each have a flat bottom. This one you can't see, but it's there. They both have flat bottoms. How many vertexes does this cone have? 1, 2. So they each have 1 flat bottom and 1 vertex. So we are going to write, they have, this is telling us how we know that it's this type of shape. So they have 1 vertex and 1 flat surface. So I went ahead and put, they have 1 vertex and 1 flat surface. Oh, I think I forgot my period. Okay, so if you need time to write this, go ahead and pause the video. I am going to go ahead and go on. And let's talk about shape number 1. Why is this not a cone? This one's not a cone because it has 2 flat surfaces. So just like our can here, it has 1 flat surface here and 1 flat surface here. So we have 1 right here and then 1 in the back. A cone only has one flat surface, so that one can't be. So we're going to write shape 1 has 2 flat surfaces. And I ran out of lines, so I just went ahead and I started writing on the bottom. That's okay. So we wrote shape 1 has 2 flat surfaces. And if you need time to write this, that's okay. Go ahead and pause the video. But I hope this helped you guys. I know that 3D shapes can sometimes be confusing, especially if you don't have something to hold on to look at, like a can or a ball like this. It can be sometimes confusing, but do your best to find things around your house that might look like the shape. Like I even have a water bottle. This is a flat surface, this is a flat surface, but there's no vertices, so this shape must be a cylinder, just like this one. So just go around your house, see what you can find. Those will always be helpful if you can find shapes that look like this. I know it's confusing, but you just sometimes have to use your imagination, and I know you guys are going to try your best and you're going to work as hard as you can. So watch this video as many times as you need to help you understand that there's nothing wrong with that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this helped, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye everyone.